read this evening, which are poems that essentially tell stories, because the other hat I wear is as a storyteller, and the storyteller and the poet are really quite synonymous. And I believe also that one of the functions of poetry is to keep alive the memory of people and places and things and happenings. And that is what I seek to achieve in my work. And the first poem I'll read is, they're all quite short poems. This one, In Luck. It's an experience I'm sure we've all had of clearing out a house after a death in this situation many years ago, many decades ago, after my mother's death, shutting up the house and that awful feeling that is. And a beggar came to the door, and because he provided such fabulous light relief from such a gruesome task, he got a reception that he didn't anticipate he was going to get. In Luck. On the day after Mother's funeral, we unfurled the black plastic sacks for her possessions. Sweat-dark shoes, bunions stretched and unbearable. A little shifty beggar soft-coughed his way into our grim work. Giddy with grief, my sister and I lavished attendance on his bemused reserve, turned Mother's empty house into a cradle of hospitality, crinkled the fire, laid a cloth, scrambled his eggs, and when he left, pockets full of large bottles and cigarettes, he pedalled away on her prized rally, freewheeled somewhere. And when the beggar was going, he said, "Are ye here every day?" Yes, you are. The next one. I hope you all have mad aunts, or are mad aunts to people. So I had a wonderfully mad aunt who worked as a waitress and got... There's a lovely phrase in the sociology of work. It's called occult compensation. I really love it. Occult meaning hidden. And it means that if you're paying dirt poor wages, the employees are far more likely to be, robbing the tea bags. So Auntie Kit was a great believer in occult compensation, and she devised a really ingenious way to get out the booty. Auntie Kit's halo. Auntie Kit, kitchen help in the Savoy, supplemented her income by pilfering sausages. Avoiding the chef, she looped rings of the best beef bangers around her head like a bizarre turban, skewered her woolly hat with pins to keep the sweltering circle of raw meat in place, like a halo. So under Kit's hat was a few pounds of sausages coiled around her head. And she was also the first woman I ever saw painting her nails, and there was a whole lot of that going on and whirring around. Red alert. Auntie Kit is painting her nails a most alarming crimson. Her hands, excitable as propellers, are whizzing vermilion circles in the air. There's a whir of carmine, down-drifting, turpentine and lacquer. Auntie Kit has the whole house on red alert. That's how Auntie Kit managed her nails. And just to finish this little set from this book on a musical note, and I had a neighbour once who on his death, you were talking about the rap music. Well, this man on his deathbed, he had been a great fan of Jim Reeves. And when he was dying, he imagined himself Jim Reeves. Encore. On his deathbed decline, our neighbour returned to the dance halls where he courted to the sentimental melodies of Jim Reeves. He crooned day and night into a hairbrush, filling the house with smooth melody, appealing to some long-gone woman to put her sweet lips a little closer to the phone. In the sweaty tremors of death, he celebrated how life had magnificently transformed him from a jack to a king, and gathering up the manic strength of his approaching end, swung himself out of bed, grabbed the sweeping brush for a final turn on the floor, as he entreated heaven to prevent him from crossing love's cheating line. Now, amongst our characters in Wexford is a man who has changed his name by deed poll to Elvis Aaron Presley. And this man is a pot man at a kind of a greasy spoon cafe. So it's really nice to go in there and to get your greasy tea served by somebody with Elvis on his lapel, the king. In the Rendezvous Cafe, would-be Elvis Brillo pads the saucepans while dreaming of Memphis. The smooch and lilt of his crooning is gentle over the ferocious bubbling of deep fat friars. Under his cotton apron, he shimmers sinewy seduction in a white suit studded with rhinestone. Diners lust for the musty satin of his skin. Though he is a shy man topping up the sugar bowls, I sense him gyrating between tables, his black quiff and sideburns glistening as he wobbles his melodies of loss. Don't be fooled, Elvis, when in our lunchtime trysts I order a plain omelette. Under my coat, I'm all taffeta and polka dots, bobby socks and pigtails, ready to abscond with the king.